On what is now the Coromandel Peninsula, fingers of molten rock pushed their way to the surface. As the region cooled, precious metals were deposited in association with quartz veins, locked into the surrounding rock structure. In time, forests grew on the fertile volcanic soil. Into this land came an early race of people we know as the Moa hunters, and much later the Maori. Later, European sailors, whalers, traders, missionaries, gum diggers and settlers began to arrive. Farmers cleared the land for crops and stock. Bushmen felled the mighty Coromandel kauri, and in 1852 came word of an even more sought-after commodity, gold. But the Coromandel gold was not the easily won gold of Otago, where the precious metal was panned and sluiced from the riverbeds. Coromandel gold was contained in rock millions of years younger than that in the South Island. This gold was bound up in quartz reefs, with the reefs themselves often deep underground. To reach the reefs, miners sank shafts and cut drives into the rock. The ore-bearing quartz was mined and transported to a stamper battery where it was crushed. Water flowing through the battery washed the crushed quartz onto a gold table, where the gold combined with mercury, which allowed it to be removed for further refining. Later the mercury was replaced by the cyanide process, first trialled at the Karangahake Crown Mine in 1894 and still in use today throughout the world. This new process raised the extraction rate of gold from about 68% to 90% and prolonged the life of many mines. Gold was first discovered at Waihi by John Maccombie and Robert Lee in 1878. Unable to raise the money to get their venture underway, they left the area. Shortly afterwards, William Nicol struck gold while testing the ground a short distance from Maccombie and Lee's workings. He named the claim Martha, after a relative.
From then thereafter, its name would be Martha, the hill with the great...
Within a few years, the Martha mine was famous as one of the world's great gold and silver mines. The deepest of its 7 shafts sank to over 600 metres, and the underground workings contained over 175 kilometres of drives or tunnels. Other mines were developed in the area. The town flourished and prospered. Waihi Beach grew as it became popular with miners and their families for picnics and holidays. Waihi became an important town and soon began to attract residents.
The climate is delicious. Fruit, ordinary and subtropical, thrives and abounds in the gardens of the miners and throughout the district, and the scenery consists in harmonious proportions of hill and flat, forest and sea, and far-stretching mountains.
Waihi survived the boom and bust days of early gold, but not so Waitakere, Golden Cross, and Karangahake. Where there were once thriving communities, little remains. The Victoria battery at Waikino was one of the largest in the world, its 200 stamping heads crushing the quartz railed from Waihi. Today its remains are being developed as a tourist attraction. Gum diggers Dixon and Corbett Lowry found evidence of a reef system at Golden Cross, and in 1892 began small-scale mining operations. Over the next 30 years, the mine worked with varying degrees of success and a variety of owners. In 1920, the mine was finally closed, after producing 386,000 ounces of gold and silver. In its heyday, the town of Golden Cross boasted a population of around 400 people, and a hotel, store, drapery, bakery, 2 butcheries, a billiard saloon, a public hall, and a school. Once mining ceased, the town was abandoned. At Golden Cross today, there's little evidence of the bustling town of the turn of the century. The town of Karangahake rivaled Thames in size, and its mines produced nearly twice as much gold. This was the site of New Zealand's only real gold rush. In 1875, over 800 prospectors swarmed over the rugged terrain, eager to stake their claim. They were soon to be disappointed, and it wasn't until 10 years later that Karangahake boomed again. The Woodstock, Crown and Talisman mines employed around 500 men, and the town developed to provide for them. At one time, the local school had 245 children on the roll. Mining was a dirty and dangerous occupation. Underground accidents were frequent, and those who survived often later died of the coughing disease, miner's silicosis, caused by inhaling quartz dust while blasting, drilling and transporting the ore. In 1920 it was all over at Karangahake, but not before 4 million ounces of gold and silver had been extracted from the ground, much of it from deep inside Mount Karangahake itself. Like most mining towns, Karangahake was abandoned. It owed its existence to mining. With the mines gone, the town disappeared too. Today the site is a picnic spot on the Waihi to Paeroa highway. The Martha mine was closed in 1952, exactly 100 years after the first gold was sold at public auction in Auckland in December 1852. With the closure of the mighty Martha, the days of early gold were at an end.